Hey there, this is K4A, Knowledge for All educational video channel. We are continuing with learning Scratch, blocks, and in this tutorial today we are going to try to learn how and when to use Scratch block which is named hide variable. Okay, let's go to Scratch to see that in action. This video should be really fast and short, and I always say that, but that's not always the case. But today we are learning one of the variables blocks. So click on the variables group, the orange one, almost the last is my blocks, and one before is variables, and we are learning hide variable Scratch blocks. So click and drag that one to your programming window, and let's see what that works. Okay, if I click on this hide variable, by default it says game score, and watch what will happen on the stage. You can see how game score variable disappeared, and we can see here when I start the game, we can see here on our left where our Scratch blocks are shown, we can see that game score was still the checkbox for game score was still checked, and that will maybe confuse you because as we have learned before, variables are containers to store some kind of information, and when we make them with this make variable block, they will automatically show on our screen, on our stage, and I can uncheck them to hide them like this. This is one way to hide them, but the second way is here by using this block. So again, I will click on it, this game score field variable will disappear. Look at it, just like that. But you can be confused because here on our left it's still checked. So that's just one thing to be aware of. Okay, in what kind of situation you will try to hide variables? Well, for example, as we have just said, variables are some kind of storages, some kind of containers for you to store information, and you can literally make as many of variables as you need or want for your game. I haven't experimented much with Scratch and variables so far. I will in the future, but I don't know the exact number, but you can probably make tens of them, hundreds of them. I don't recommend making hundreds of them or thousands of them if you don't need them, but you could probably make tens of them, and your Scratch game will work fast and without any problems. Anyway, as I said, don't make them just to make them without reason. Make them only if you need them. And for example, in our case, we have made game score, the variable, the container which will hold our game score, then a player health variable in which we will store cat's health. Maybe we won't need it at all, but just to show it here. And this last one, the item, will be for example to store which item the cat has. Currently it's 0, the cat doesn't have any kind of item, so I will hide that variable. So I will click and drag this hide variable Scratch block and drag and drop it to attach it to our when green flag clicked, and just instead of using game score, I will use item. So when the game starts, this variable will hide. Simple as that. Why is that so? Because I don't need that variable to be shown to the player. Maybe later I will, but for now on I don't need it, because if I make like 5 or 10 variables, they will be all over the stage, all over my play area, so that will confuse the player. It will be ugly. It will be difficult for him to see what is going on the stage. Instead of playing, he will be looking at all of those variables. That's it for this lesson. Simple as that. Very short, as I have promised. And it's very simple block. You will sometimes need it to hide it. In the next video we'll learn the next one, how to show it and so on, and maybe show some kind of connection to some other Scratch blocks. But this lesson is over, so keep on scratching, keep on learning, and see you in the next one. Bye for now.